Now that Parliament is prorogued, it means that all parliamentary business is on hold while allowing the government to remain in power. During this time, opposition parties cannot trigger an election with a non-confidence vote. The last time Parliament was prorogued was in 2020. Prime Minister Trudeau said that the government needed time to lay out its response to the COVID-19 pandemic, though it was also facing scrutiny over the We Charity scandal. Stephen Harper's decision to prorogue Parliament in 2008 sparked intense backlash as the Conservatives were expected to lose a vote of non-confidence in the House of Commons. Joining me now to discuss from Edmonton is Eric Adams, professor of law at the University of Alberta. Professor, good morning. So glad that you could be with us. So, Parliament prorogued until the end of March. Did the Prime Minister need to do this? Is this what prorogation was intended for?
Well, I guess there's going to be some political criticism, certainly, of the delay in facing the music. There's no question that prorogation in this instance moves to the end of March, the probably inevitable situation of a non-confidence vote that the Prime Minister was facing if the House returned at the end of January. But as soon as he made the decision that he was no longer going to remain as the Liberal leader and effectively as the Prime Minister, it meant that there needed to be some time for his party to get their affairs in order, for a new Prime Minister to be sworn in, so that when the House dissolves, there is a new leadership team in place during the period of the election.
He had to go to the Governor General for permission to prorogue Parliament. Has a Governor General ever said no to a Prime Minister in this country?
Not in terms of a prorogation. It's really, in almost all cases, simply a matter of the Governor General following the advice of the Prime Minister. And the Governor General has to follow that advice. She has to follow it when he tells her what senators to appoint, what judges to appoint, when to dissolve Parliament, and when to prorogue Parliament. We don't have a Governor General making independent decisions about what she thinks is best for Canada. That's for elected officials. The only powers that she has is to refuse advice when the Prime Minister attempts to do something unconstitutional. And people might not like the prorogation timing. It may have political advantages to Justin Trudeau in a certain sense, or the Liberal Party of Canada, but that doesn't render it unconstitutional advice. She really didn't have any choice in the matter. She had to accept his advice, in my opinion, and prorogue the Parliament, which is what she did.
So what happens to all those bills that were going to go through Parliament? Are they now in limbo?
The easy answer is that they all die. All legislation that's pending, no matter what stage it's at, is effectively over and done. It has to go back to square one and start again. There are some exceptions to that. The House can agree to put legislation back at the stage it was at. Private members' bills generally restart at the stage that they were at. But effectively speaking, all of the parliamentary business ends, and it's a restart when they come back. Now, whether any of that legislation ends up being enacted, I think, is an open question, because very possibly the Parliament falls as soon as they return at the end of March. The first matter of business is a speech from the throne, which is always a confidence motion. And if the opposition parties do what they say they're going to, they'll bring down this government at that first opportunity.
Eric Adams is a professor of law at the University of Alberta. Thank you so much for all of that. Really appreciate it.